Welcome to the Application Testing Suite video training series. This is a video recording of Application Testing Suite 12.2 New Features and Updates. My name is Yutaka Takatsu. I'm a Group Product Manager of the Application Testing Suite products. This presentation covers new features and updates we have in Oracle Application Testing Suite 12.2. The video recording will go approximately 40 minutes. In the first 20 minutes, we'll talk about the new features for OpenScript for functional testing. In the next 20 minutes, we'll discuss the new features for Oracle Load Testing and Oracle Test Manager. This slide shows a list of the new features we have for OpenScript for functional testing in 12.2. OpenScript 12.2 introduced JD Edwards Functional Testing Module, which is a new accelerator that provides application-specific API. Also provides command line tools interface that allows you to bulk compile multiple scripts without opening that script in OpenScript UI. And OpenScript 12.2 introduced the support for playback pre-recorded functional test scripts on Linux systems. Also having an enhancements on capture screenshot options, new assets tab in the script view, support for ADF data visualization tool, and for Firefox Browser 10 extended support release. We'll talk about in details for each items. The first new feature we have in ATS 12.2 that I want to introduce is the new Functional Testing Accelerator module for JD Edwards application. When you open a script wizard in OpenScript version 12.2, you will see Oracle JD Edwards Enterprise 1 Functional Testing module. This module was built on top of the Web Functional Testing module and extends the web testing by providing an additional capability to record and playback Oracle JD Edwards Enterprise 1 applications with grid controls. This feature allows you to record JD Edwards Enterprise 1 grid components by loading an application-specific API onto the script. The grid components will be captured as E1 commands, and non-grid components are captured as standard web controls. So when you record the JDE application with this module, you will see both web and E1 commands recorded into the script. Supported versions of JDE applications are 9.0 and 9.1. Supported browsers are Internet Explorer and Firefox. And please note that recording JDE version 9.0 with Firefox is not supported. JDE version 9.1 is supported with both IE and Firefox. So let's see this in the actual product. I have OpenScript version 12.2 open in my screen. I'm going to click a button in the toolbar to open a new script wizard. Here I see Oracle JD Edwards Enterprise 1 under the functional testing in the tree view. I'm going to click Next and going to name my script. Click Finish. This is my brand new JDE E1 script. I will go ahead and click the recording button, and this will launch IE. And I'm going to navigate to the application that I want to record against. Enter username and password. Sign in. Select the environment. Move on. And now the application is loaded, and this is JDE Enterprise 1 version 9.1. I'm going to enter a value into a fast path field. And as I navigate through the application, commands are written down to the script. As mentioned earlier, JDE 1 functional testing module is a mixture of web and E1 commands. The grid components will be captured as E1 commands, and the rest of the components are captured as standard web components. Because so far all the actions I perform in this browser are non-grid actions, the commands I see in the script are the standard web commands. This is a Java code view of the script. The commands we have here are starting from web.element, web.textbox, web.button, web.radio button. These are all standard web commands. But now I see a grid control in the screen. I'm going to enter a value into a QBE field, which is a query by example field. The value is 2020. And this will record an E1 command. So I see set QBE value recorded into the script. The corresponding Java command can be seen in the Java code view. This action was captured as e1.grid command. And this is just an example. You can also see the other available JDE commands by typing a period in front of the existing method. And this list of API is also available in OpenScript user guide. Please see the OpenScript user guide chapter 14 using J.D. Edwards functional testing module. The next feature we have for ATS 12.2 is OpenScript Command Line Tools interface. This is an umbrella interface for running command line tools that includes OpenScript Command Line Compiler, which performs bulk script compilation, and OpenScript Command Line Asset Updater that configures script assets for multiple scripts as a background operation. For both tools, you can run them from the command line, and you do not need to launch scripts in OpenScript Graphical User Interface. The first tool included in this feature is the script compiler, which allows you to do a bulk script compilation without opening scripts in OpenScript Graphical User Interface. So let's think about an example use case. You have an automated testing framework that runs your scripts from the command line. So a lot of scripts are running as a scheduled batch execution, and therefore you're not launching OpenScript UI for doing so. And say there was an environmental change in your application, and a URL that is specified in all of your scripts need to be changed. Because the script source in OpenScript is a plain text file, you can do the bulk text replacement by using any third-party tools to run against your script source files and find and replace the URL. However, because OpenScript script is a Java program, any change made to the source file requires recompilation. You can do the recompilation by opening a script in OpenScript UI, but you do not want to do that as you are not running a script from the UI first of all, and especially if you have hundreds of scripts. It takes a lot of your time to open each script just for the compilation purpose. So this is when the command line compiler is useful. It allows you to specify a folder where your scripts are located and performs a multi-compilation. I can launch the command prompt and run compile command, and I can also specify the directory name where my scripts are located. And in this case, my directory name is 12.2 new features. And in this directory, I have 4 scripts that I want to bulk compile. I'm going to run the command, and it is already finished, and all 4 scripts in this folder were recompiled without the need of opening them up in the OpenScript UI. Because this is a demonstration, I only have 4 scripts in this folder, but I can run the same command against tens of hundreds of scripts if it exists in the specified directory. The second tool included in the OpenScript Command Line Tools interface is the Asset Updater. Using this tool, you can add or change script assets such as databank files, object libraries, child scripts or jar files, and perform a bulk update against multiple scripts all at once by specifying the script location in the file systems. Here's a possible use case. Say you have a requirement to add a new databank file or to change the location of the existing child scripts in all of your 100 scripts. It is time-consuming if you have to open each script manually in OpenScript to reconfigure the script assets. You can add a new script asset or change the existing script assets by running an asset update command from the command line. For example, I have a script that I would like to add a new databank file. Currently, this script doesn't have any databank file associated. And I'm going to run update assets command from the command line to add a new script asset to all the scripts located in the specified folder. The type of the asset is databank, and here is the file location. I just started the command, and the result came out successfully. So I'm going back to the same script in OpenScript. I'm going to close this once and reopen. And going to the Assets tab, now I can see a new databank file added to the script. And because I run a command against all the scripts located in the specified folder, I should see the new databank file in the other script as well. I'm going to take a look at the other script in the same folder. Going to the Asset tab, and I see the new databank file associated for this script as well. And why am I happy? Because I could do this without opening each script in OpenScript UI. The next new feature introduced in ATS 12.2 is support for playback of pre-recorded web and ADF functional test scripts from the command line interface on Linux through a Firefox browser. As for the prerequisites, ATS full installation or an ATS agent at a minimum should be installed on the Linux server. Also, a Firefox browser with a version that is supported by ATS should be installed. Oracle ATS version 12.2 supports Firefox browser version 10 ESR extended support release, and supported browser is currently only Firefox. Also, Oracle ATS helper service should be enabled in the system prior to running the script from the Linux command line. And please note that this is a playback-only feature. Because the current version of OpenScript product cannot be installed on the Linux system, recording and debugging require Windows system. So you need to create a script using OpenScript in Windows system and make sure the script runs without an error before bringing them onto the Linux system to playback. I have a Linux system that has Oracle ATS installed. And first, I would like to check whether the Oracle ATS helper service is running in this system. I'm going to run this command to check the status of the Oracle ATS helper service. And if prompted, please enter the root password for the Linux server. Okay, so the status came back and the helper service is running. But in case you see a message that helper service is not running, then you need to start the service before running the script. And here is the command to start the helper service. Okay, so next I want to start the script playback, and this is the command I'm going to run with. And as you can see, this is the same run script command that you can run the script from command line in Windows systems. I'm going to hit the Enter key to kick off the command. And I see the Firefox browser launched. The command drives the browser and navigate to the internal mockup application where I recorded the script in my Windows system, and it performed the few transactions I recorded, and the scripted execution is finished. And you can find the result report in HTML format in the file systems where your scripts are located. And for this demonstration, I did not add optional arguments to run my script, but you can add more options to customize your playback. And supported command line options can be found in OpenScript User's Guide, so please see Appendix A, Script Command Line Reference section for more details. The next feature is new options in the Capture Screenshot setting for functional test scripts. Prior to OpenScript version 12.2, only option we had for this setting was to capture the browser content. Now user can select either to capture only browser content or to capture entire screen for both recording and playing back functional test scripts, depending on their preference. When only browser content is selected, screen comparison generally provides easier debugging as extra desktop contents are excluded. On the other hand, you may also want to check messages displayed in browser status bar. In addition, in some cases, a script failure could be affected by non-browser factors. For example, there may be a network failure that terminated a connection to the application during the playback, and maybe that is the reason that your script was failed. Having the entire screen captured, you can detect those messages during the playback. Let's find this setting in OpenScript. I'm going to View, OpenScript Preference, Web Functional under Record, and I see Capture Screenshot has two options, only capture browser content and capture entire screen. The default setting is to capture browser content, but you can select to capture the entire screen. And the same options are available for the playback as well. And actually in this playback dialog, at the miscellaneous section, there's another setting, capture entire screen on fail. This is also a new feature in 12.2 that we are going to talk about next. The next feature is the capture screenshot on failure. Prior to version 12.2, OpenScript captured the screenshots only when a page is loaded the first time. However, the script may fail with the subsequent actions, such as entering a text or clicking a button on that page. And the screenshot at that timing is actually the information you need. OpenScript 12.2 has a new option to capture the entire screenshot at the timing when a failure is occurred. So this way you can know what exactly happened at the failed command. Another new feature that OpenScript 12.2 provides is a new tab in the script pane that enables easier access to configure script assets. Script assets such as databank files, object library files, child scripts, or jar files are dependent files that are associated with the script. A single script can have multiple script assets and need to be configured in the Assets dialog. Here in a virtual machine, I have previous version of OpenScript 12.1 open. Prior to OpenScript version 12.2, in order to configure these script assets, a user needed to first go to the Script menu, go to the Script Properties, open up the Script Property dialog, select the script assets from the tree view, and now you have access to the Script Assets window. Now we are back at 12.2, and I can go to the same Assets window by clicking Assets tab, one click. So this is a design improvement that enables more convenient asset configuration, especially for users who frequently update their script assets. We also have an enhancement in ADF functional testing module to support DVT, Data Visualization Tool controls. OpenScript 12.2 now supports object test verification on ADF DVT gauge and ADF DVT graph controls. And for the ADF graph controls, recording and playback of click action is also supported. Here's once again OpenScript 12.2. I'm going to create a new ADF functional test script. And start recording. This is going to launch an e-browser, and I can navigate to the application that I want to record against. And this is the ADF application that has bar control. And I'm going to click bars in the graph, and each time I click a bar in the graph, click ADF dbt graph command is recorded into the script. And each of the command has a series index that locates which bar in the object it can click at the playback. In this command, the series index is 1, and another has 2. This example was for the bar graph, but dbt graph control support is for the other types of the graph as well. And here I have a script that I recorded at ADF pie graph. And here is the application I recorded. I have a pie graph in center and a table in the right. And each time I click a slice of the pie, corresponding data is displayed in the table. You can see the data value changing as I click the slices. So I'm going to execute this script to see how it plays back in my ADF application. Now the playback has started. And as the command is executed, the table is being flashed and you can see the data value changing. And this is because OpenScript's new API for the ADF dbt graph is clicking different slices of the pie as it is configured in the script. And lastly, for the ADF dbt feature, I'd like to show you how we can verify values using object test. Here I have gauge control in my ADF application open. OpenScript API won't be able to record any action performed on this object, but you can use object test to verify attribute values for this object. I'm selecting object test from the OpenScript toolbar and hovering my mouse cursor onto the gauge object. When an object is highlighted, it means OpenScript recognized that object and we are ready to press F10 to finalize the selection. Click OK, and here's a list of attributes you can verify for the object. I want to verify the value of the indicator value. And I can also change the value type from string to numeric, and also change the operator to less than or greater than, or whether it is in the specific range of values. As the recorded value is 63, let me set this from 65 to 70 so that it will fail at the playback. I'm going to click OK, and here's the object test. Let me bring it to the bottom of the script. And playback. And you see the object test has reported a failure as the value was not in the specific range. Okay, so that was ADF dbt control support. OpenScript 12.2 also has other new features as in the support of Firefox browser 10 ESR. Now users can record and playback functional test scripts with Firefox 10 ESR extended support release. And the last new feature we have for OpenScript 12.2 is a new setting, automatically dismiss JavaScript alert dialog. This setting has added to the OpenScript preference web functional playback section. When this setting is checked, during the playback, if there is any unexpected JavaScript alert dialog displayed, OpenScript will automatically dismiss that dialog. And this action will be shown in the result report and tells you at which step the alert dialog was dismissed. And please note that this feature only handles JavaScript alert dialogs. The more generic dialog handling is being planned for future releases. Next, I'd like to talk about new features and updates for Oracle load testing and Oracle Test Manager. Oracle Load Testing 12.2 introduced the block scenario module, which you can generate multiple execution paths out from your existing scripts. It also provides a hardware estimation feature that can give you an estimate of what type of hardware you will need for your specific scenario prior to running your load test. From ATS version 12.2, you can run functional test scripts in Oracle Load Testing. Also, new load testing accelerators are added for the Hyperion and PeopleSoft applications. Finally, Oracle Test Manager introduced role-based security settings, which allows you to configure in ATS Administrator tool. And the first new feature we have for Oracle load testing is a block scenario module. The block scenario is a new script module that allows you to generate complex virtual user scenarios. Basically, what you can do here is to create a block scenario script and add existing scripts and functions and run them as child scripts. But if that is all about, you can already do with the current functionality. What block scenario script allows you to do in addition is to specify how many times you want to iterate these child modules, or specify the percentage of the execution so that you can create multiple execution paths out from the existing script sets. And here's how to configure your block scenario script. First, you'll need to create a block scenario script. Then you can add existing scripts to your block script as script assets. Then go to the Details view, open Block XML Tree View tab. Using Graphical User Interface, you can specify which scripts, functions you want to run. And you can also add a folder, which is called Block, into the tree. And configure how many times you want to loop through, or what % at the time you want to execute these modules within your scenario. In this example, the first and last modules are login and logout functions, and they will be always executed once in a single iteration of the block script. Then you can see there are two blocks nested. In the parent block, 70% of the time, the function ticker search will be executed, and when executed, it will run twice. And the rest of the 30%, a child block myBOView will run. And within the child block, myBOView, there are two functions displaying 40% and 60% respectively. The first function, viewPortfolio, will be executed with a 40% chance, and while the second function, viewSummary, will be executed 60% at the time. And we'll see this in the product. First, I'll need to create a block scenario script. I'm going to Script Wizard and select Block Scenario Script from the tree view. I'll name this script Block 2. Okay, so I have my block scenario script created. Now I need to add other script to the script as script asset. I'm clicking the Assets tab to access to where I can configure the script assets. I'm going to select the scripts from the tree view and click Add. I have a function library script that I have previously configured. I'm going to select this script and click OK. My function library script was added to my block scenario script as a script asset. Now I can go back to the tree view and select the Run Scenario node. And this will display tabs in the Details pane. I am selecting Block XML Tree tab. Right mouse click the main node and select Add Script as Child. From the pull-down menu, I will select fmstock functions, which is the function library script I just added to the scenario. I can run the whole script or select a function defined in the script. I will select Login from the pull-down menu. I can select to run once or multiple times, or what % of the time I want to run this function. For login, I will leave as default, which is run once 100%. So the function will be always executed within the block script. Click OK. Next, I want to add a block to the script. Right mouse click, add block as child. I will name this my block and leave the iteration schedule to default so that it will always run 100%. Click OK. Next, within the block, I want to run a function. ViewPortfolio. I want to have it run 40% of the time, and when it is executed, always run twice. Click OK. So ViewPortfolio was added. But I see the percentage value of 40% is displayed in red because the total percentage of the block does not equal 100%. So I need to add another function that runs 60% at a time. So I'm going to add another function, view summary, and the schedule is already showing 60% as that is the max I can set for this function. Click OK. Okay. Now I can run the block script. I'm going to run 4 times to see what path it will take. The script is executed and the result is coming back. The first iteration ran view portfolio, and the second iteration ran view summary, and the third iteration ran view portfolio, and the fourth iteration is running view portfolio again. The scenario runs using random distribution within the block, so this does not mean to guarantee the percentage specified, especially when you're running a block script with a small number of iterations in OpenScript. However, when you're running a scenario in Oracle load testing to generate enough large sample size, then the results should be close to the specified percentage. So this was a block scenarios module. The next feature we have is the OLT hardware estimation. This feature will give you an estimation on what hardware you need to prepare based on a specific scenario in order to run X number of virtual users without running the real load test. Before talking about this feature, let me show you the traditional way of doing the hardware estimation, just for the comparison purpose. When planning for a load test, a typical question may arise is what hardware is needed in order to run the load test. For example, you may want to run 3000 virtual user load test and need to come up with a spec of hardware you need to prepare. But this is a very tricky question as there is no generic answer that applies to all situations. It involves many different factors and answers are different by scenario to scenario. This slide shows how to do the hardware estimation before 12.2. I'm not going through the details of this slide because that is not the purpose of this presentation, but the point is it involves a lot of manual effort. In fact, this slide shows even the easiest way of doing the manual estimation. There's another way, which is a more professional way to monitor the agent resource using JRocket mission control. However, either way, you need to spend some time and have to run a set of small load tests and do manual calculation in order to get the hardware estimation. In 12.2, you don't have to do this manual work anymore. Hardware estimation tool will do this for you without running a real load test in OLT. Now we are back at the hardware estimation tool. What you can do is that you pick a specific load test scenario, and the tool will estimate the hardware required for that scenario for you. It gives you a report that tells you how much resource the load test could consume and suggests how to set the proper configurations. In this example, here is the current hardware configuration information. The example has only one agent system, but if you have multiple agents configured in the scenario, then it will give you a report for each agent. And here is the estimated resource consumption. And finally, the suggested information on how you can configure the settings to run the scenario. In this report, the tool estimated that total 1.6 gig RAM may be consumed by running 3000 virtual users and therefore suggested to apply 2 GB for agent heap size. As you can see, all the manual work we needed to do previously can be done instantly using the hardware estimation tool. Supported load testing modules in 12.2 are Web HTTP, Fusion ADF, Siebel, and EBS Forms accelerators. And also please note the hardware estimation tool is not suitable for block scenarios module because it has more than one execution path in a single script. Let's see this in the product. I have Oracle Load Testing 12.2 open in my system. I'm logging into the application by clicking the Login button and going to load a scenario that I have created previously. which is my SCN1. This is my scenario. And I have 2 scripts configured in this scenario that runs 1000 virtual users in total. Now I'm selecting hardware estimation from the Tools menu and going to select the scenario that I want to estimate against, which is the same scenario I saw in the Build Scenarios tab previously, my SCN1. Click Estimate. And in the background, now the tool is running a single virtual user for both scripts in order to collect the resource consumption per single user. Then going to estimate how much resource in total it will need in order to run a specified number of virtual users. And in this scenario case, it is 1000. So please note that the estimation tool requires to run at least one virtual user for each of the specified script in the scenario against the application. Okay, so now the status changed to completed, so I can press the View Report button to see the result. And because of the rich contents of the configured script I have, and also the weak agent system I have configured for the scenario, looks like I need 7 agent system with a similar spec with an agent system configured in this scenario in order to run 1000 virtual users. The next new feature is Oracle load testing support for functional test scripts. From 12.2, you can run functional test scripts in Oracle load testing along with the load test scripts in a single scenario. But please note that running a functional test script requires much more resource than running a load test script. So running hundreds of functional test scripts in your load test may not be a practical model for using this feature. Rather, here are some of the benefits of running a functional test script in Oracle load testing. You can measure user response time during a load test. For example, by running functional test script in a load session, you can measure how much time it takes to complete a specific UI transactions during the peak load condition. It also enables the easier debugging. When virtual users are failing with script errors, looking at the browser, you may see an error page coming back from the application. You can also use this feature as an alternative to Oracle Test Manager functionality to run your test cases. Just like you can run multiple test cases in Oracle Test Manager, you can also run them in Oracle load testing. In order to run functional test scripts in Oracle load testing, you need to have either Linux with VNC enabled or Windows 2008 R2 with Remote Desktop enabled. I have Oracle load testing 12.2 installed on a Windows 2008 system that has RDP service enabled. In the script view, I see icons with different colors. Functional scripts are displayed in blue icon and load scripts are displayed in green icon. I'm going to select the functional test script from the tree view and add to the scenario. And notice that the default value of number of virtual user is 1 for functional test scripts, while the load test script has 10. I am sending the scenario to the Autopilot tab and select the iteration to 1. And going to start the load test. Save the session, and this will start the playback. Interactive service dialog displayed. I'm going to select to show the message, and this will launch a remote desktop window. And now I can see my functional testing script running in the remote desktop window. And I can also see the report of the session I have just run. And you see the response time of the action was executed during the test. And lastly, for Oracle load testing new feature, we have a new load testing accelerators for Hyperion and PeopleSoft applications. They provide an easier record and playback for testing these applications. And I am back at the OpenScript 2. When I select a new script wizard, I can see Oracle Hyperion, Oracle PeopleSoft under Load Testing Tree node. I can select these modules when I create a script that I need to record against these applications. And the correlation libraries can be found in the View, OpenScript Preference, Correlation. Here is Oracle Hyperion Load Correlation Library. I can also see the variables predefined to work specifically with the Hyperion application. And I can also see the similar for the PeopleSoft. The last feature I want to introduce for ATS 12.2 is Oracle Test Manager's role-based field security. In Oracle Test Manager 12.2, now administrator users can control which roles can have read and write permissions, and which roles can have read-only permission for specific fields. And this can be done in ATS Administrator tool. In ATS Administrator tool, when you add or edit fields or field options, a permission link shows up in the Edit Field window. You can click that link to open Permission window where you can specify which roles to have what permission for a specific field. I have Oracle Test Manager 12.2 open. I'm going to log in with the user John. John is a QA engineer. I am at the Execution tab, and I'm going to open Test Set 1. And this is a test set he owns. It is assigned to John Engineer, that is his name, but user John can actually modify the owner field, and he can assign to somebody else. The new role-based field security feature in 12.2 can disallow him to change this field, while he can still have access to this dialog and also still have read and write permission to other fields. I'm going to log in to the ATS Administrator tool. First, let's verify what role John has. John has QA Engineer role. And let's also check what other users have. Tom has QA Manager role. Bill has QA Engineer role. And Larry also has QA Engineer role. So what we want to have here is a rule that only Tom, who is a QA manager, can modify the owner field in the test set window, while other QA engineers cannot. Now I'm going to the Fields tab and select Default Fields in Test Set. And the fields that you see in the test set window are listed in the right-hand side. I will select Owner and click Edit. Edit Field dialog opens. And this is the new link ATS 12.2 provides, Permissions. I'm going to click this link. That opens Permission dialog. So currently, everyone has read-write permissions. What I'm going to do is to select QA Engineer role and move to the right. By this action, anyone who has QA Engineer role will only have read-only access to the owner field in the test set window. I can also select other roles to read only, so only QA Manager can change the field. Click OK. Log out. And now logging back to the Oracle Test Manager with the user John. Select Test Set 1. Open. Now owner field is disabled for user John, while he can still modify the other field in this window. So this was Oracle Test Manager's role-based field security feature. In this presentation, this is the only major new feature for Oracle Test Manager, but there are many other bug fixes done for Oracle Test Manager in 12.2. Also, a development work for many other new features is underway for next major release 12.3. So please stay tuned. For more on ATS products, please visit Oracle Application Testing Suite video training series in Oracle Learning Library. This is the end of the video recording of Application Testing Suite 2.2 New Features and Updates. Thank you for listening.